What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Cat Attacks Live, and we are into season 2. If you have not seen the first episode of season 2, go check that out. Available on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and all that good stuff. My special guest, Christoph, which is my tattoo artist, a wonderful person, wonderful friend, shared time with me and was a great aid in his stories and just a lot of things. So go check out the first episode if you haven't already, guys. Welcome to this episode now. This is, like I said, this is a very special episode for me, and honestly, I don't think I've covered this yet when it comes down to what I wanted to talk about. So Cat Attacks Life, right? What am I attacking here, ladies and gentlemen? There's a lot of things I have learned. Let's just put it this way, and in layman's terms, as simple as I can get. There's a lot of things that I've learned recently when it comes down to what energy really does to your life, in your life, through your life, through you, because we're all energy, right? And how that really works and shapes someone's reality. And we're talking about manifestation. I don't know if you run into a lot of people who are very spiritual or what have you, or when we talk about tribes, soul tribes, and all that woo-woo vocabulary, and I don't blame you if you don't understand it. I am one of those people who didn't at first, but now I've definitely become that that person for myself. So yeah, you hear a lot of people talk about manifestation. What is manifestation exactly? Today we're gonna break this down, and I feel kind of preachy for some reason, but I really want to really relay the message that when it comes down to it, the word manifestation, you're gonna get sick of this word. You're gonna see this everywhere. You're gonna hear this everywhere. You're gonna say this all the time. This idea of believing in your reality and putting your best foot forward into your reality and it coming true. Simple, right? It is actually something that is so widely available to us, but not accessible. Does that make sense? So we're calling this the episode, The Beginner's Guide to Manifestation. Welcome, everybody. This is Cat Attacks Life. We're getting into it. If you guys are listening on Spotify right now, iTunes, hello. I am in your earbuds. If you're watching this on YouTube, what's up? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe this video before we get going. Would really appreciate it, and really appreciate everyone who takes the time out of their day to listen to me ramble and just spew nonsense sometimes, okay? But listen, we're here. I'm here with you. This is a personal conversation. If you guys have always been interested in what this means, I'm going to give you a rundown, a guide, a beginner's, tidbit, handbook, whatever the fuck, of what manifestation really looks like. And we're gonna get straight into it. The definition of manifest is to display or show a quality or feeling by one's acts or appearance, demonstrate, be evidence of, and prove. So, when we talk about manifestation, it really does sound like just an idea that's thrown out there, right? It doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound tangible. But when it comes down to whatever you want to come true, want come to fruition, that's the tangible part. That's where it really comes forward to you. Okay, so spiritual ideals. When we talk about this idea, what does that mean for you? Everyone has their own perception of being spiritual, right? And even then, you can throw in religion in there. And everyone's person, like I said, everyone is so much of a variable when it comes down to their beliefs, and that's absolutely beautiful because we're all different here on this planet, and every single viewpoint is valid. So when we talk about this, the first question you really got to ask yourself is, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me? What does manifesting mean to me? And you could be honest and you could just say like, oh, I don't know, just people say it because they want something to come true. You could say that to yourself, right? You could have the basis of what manifest really means, and that's cool. We all start somewhere and we all kind of have this idea. So your idea of it can change based on whatever you learn and whatever happens in your life and whatever you believe in, okay? So answer that for yourself, because when we get into this podcast, it's going to get deep and it's going to make you, I feel like I really want this episode to change people's perspective on energy, okay? On how things really work and how things really come to life when it doesn't seem real and it's not here. And we talk about the universe, we talk about energy, we talk about the stars and the planets and the grandness of it all. But we don't ever talk about what can come to life right here, okay? So guys, get comfortable. It's me and you right now. It's very intimate. This is a very personal conversation, and this is everything that I have been learning for the past few months and half a year and this year alone. And if you guys don't know my personal background and things of that nature, just how it really worked for me and the evidence that I can say that it backed it up, okay? You don't have to believe anything I say. You don't have to take in consideration, okay? Grain of salt type of thing, because I'm just one person. I'm just one perspective. I'm just one viewpoint. Everyone else's, and especially yours, should always be the first thing to consider when we talk about spirituality, okay? So let's get into it. I wrote down some stuff here. And we basically covered that, right? What does that mean for you when we talk about manifesting in personal goals, your relationships, career, business, your purpose, your higher power, your meaning here in life? When we talk about existential crises, why you question what the hell you're doing here on this planet, and if you're just one entity of billions and billions of just small little ants here on Earth. Are we? You're right. And you hear that a lot. People are energy. Everyone's energy. We're all energy here. So when we talk about bringing things to life in this way, I'm trying to think of different synonyms for the word manifest, because I'm over here like saying it over and over and over again, and that's the only thing you're going to be hearing in this episode. But anyways, when we talk about things, making things happen for our lives, right, a lot of that is definitely energy, and that's momentum, and that's getting the ball rolling in a sense. So when we talk about that, what do you really want? You know, it's another question to ask yourself here. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a great relationship? Are you looking for a perfect partner? Are you looking for an easier time to be by yourself, single, right? Enjoying yourself. Are you looking for a new opportunity in a career, business, finance, money, abundance, independence? What are you really looking for to manifest and bring to life? I think we all want these things. We all want them now, right? I'm not a patient person, so and if anyone ever knows me personally, I'm not a patient person. I don't like waiting. Though I do get lazy sometimes, and that's another story for another podcast. But yeah, I just like things to be here right now. So let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk about this. When we are at very low places in our lives, okay? When we are at very vulnerable, deep, helpless, hopeless places in our minds, that energy does definitely feel more internal, and it turns into external eventually. And that's when we talk about, you know, the energy that you put out is what you're going to receive. And in this sense, I am actually going to bring in what we like to call the law of attraction. And like I said, this is psychology in a sense, spirituality put together. Law of attraction. There is a great video on YouTube that I have watched a couple times. It's called The Law of Attraction Explained by Bob Proctor. And he talks about what that means. He talks about, you know, puts it in a diagram chart of the law of attraction, okay? Basically, it suggests that positive thoughts bring positive outcomes. And it's true, right? If we believe in ourselves a little more, we get more confident in doing whatever. But when it comes to the law of attraction here, we talk about, Bob Proctor talks about paradigm shifts, talks about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, how thoughts definitely feed into the conscious and the subconscious mind, and then it turns into our own energy. It's like its own machine. The law of attraction is not just, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna get more money this week, and you want it to happen, but it's not as simple as that. It's not as tangible as that. So let's break this down, okay? The law of attraction. When you raise your vibration, when you really believe, when you really set forth into improving yourself, oneself, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything, you start to recognize that everything around you, whether it be people, circumstances, jobs, situations, everything around you becomes an element of needing to eliminate things sometimes. Like why did you always ask yourself too, it's like, how did I tolerate these things? Why did I tolerate these things? How did that happen? Let's say like past relationships that didn't really end well. And how did that, when you come back to reality as you move forward from this relationship, it's just like, how did I even think that I could tolerate that now? Because you start raising your vibration, you start recognizing the things that do not serve the person at this higher level. Okay, you almost kind of talk to yourself in third person. We're actually going to get into that as well. But when you shift your paradigm, when your subconscious mind elevates for yourself, and you start, you really just kind of build upon that. You kind of invest time into that, and you kind of, that's not an overnight thing. Like we talk about patience, right? But that's not an overnight thing. You start kind of building this more habitual state of mind where it is natural for you to be like, I deserve this, to be like, this is happening for me because I'm at this place in my mind, I'm at this place in my life, and everything just kind of flows. And all of that is energy, and all of that is continuous, okay? So when you shift your paradigm, the thoughts in your conscious mind really feed your subconscious mind, and then it's a whole loop, it's a whole machine, and then you start attracting the things that you want and desire, okay? That is manifestation. To attract, to bring forth, to seize these things, that's how you manifest, and that's how that comes true. And I'm really putting it in a more complicated term, and in terms, in ways that it was definitely more simplified than this. But I'm saying this as a person who's gone through so many things, and believing all of these things happening and attracting abundance. Like, it's here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, like, it's as simple as that, to be honest. It's as simple as that. So, all right, step one was to elevate the mind. How do you do that? Inside work, self-realizations, a Q&A with yourself. Talk to yourself, okay? I know if you're listening to me and you know who I am, and you've talked to me a few times, and it can get really personal. I'm definitely one of those people who talks to themselves all the time. I will talk to myself until I am bored, until I have nothing to say anymore. And even this podcast, this is where I talk to myself. This is where I talk to you guys. Hi, like, this is our conversation right now. This is my conversation with myself. Q&A. Ask yourself these questions. Why am I not at the place where I want to be? Why am I not happier? Why am I miserable? Where did I allow myself to stay at a job that didn't treat me right? Just these questions. And I feel like a lot of people kind of don't sit there and think and ask themselves these questions because, life happens. We're not just us sometimes. We have to take care of responsibilities. We have to take care of, maybe if you have children, families, siblings, money, bills, hourly work, one or two jobs, maybe more than that, So life will always attack us to stop us. And that's something we have to deal with in this current generation, right? Those are some factors into how manifestation can be stalling or can stall in your life. So when you start elevating the mind in this step, you start doing some inside work, okay? You start being realistic with these things. You start checking in. You start writing a list. I don't know if you guys want to do that. It's up to you. Maybe you do it on your phone. Maybe you write it down in a journal. Whatever works for you. You start understanding where these blockages come from. Okay? So when we talk about elevation, we talk about releasing these blockages. We talk about lightening the load, releasing the burden, releasing the baggage, releasing the blockages. And in our minds and in our sense of what we don't, in our sense of how we don't feel successful, we drop these things. Okay, we want to at least, right? That's the work. That's the elevation. That's how you kind of begin this process. Okay, is this very deep, vulnerable, scary process of like just getting rid of the things that don't serve you mentally, right? You don't do that physically at the beginning, but when you start this process in manifestation, it really comes from the bottom up. It has to come from the bottom up, ladies and gentlemen. You have things that in your closet you probably have to deal with, and I know you've heard that term so many times, but it's true. Skeletons in the closet, traumas, burdens, emotions, how we grew up, shadow work. And shadow work is going to be another podcast for another day. But if you're interested in looking that up, go check that out on YouTube. So many videos, so many amazing people just kind of have this different perspective on how to release these things in terms of shadow work. So when we start elevating the mind into manifestation, you got to be real. You got to be real with yourself here. You got to just accept the fact that you're not happy or a situation needs to change for you and you're not satisfied. You got to accept that fact, in order for you to actually attract better. So it's not going to be, and this way is not going to be the same for everybody. It's not going to be comfortable for everybody. Usually when it comes down to this deep, dark, rooted work, it is not comfortable, and change in this way is going to suck ass. Honestly. Let's be honest, right? So, moving on to step 2 in this beginner's guide, manifesting in its own way, in its own verb, right, is to act. What are you doing towards this? Once you start realizing what was holding you back, and once you actually have a concrete idea of what wants to come true, let's talk about perfect relationships. Let's talk about your perfect partner. Let's talk about whoever you want to manifest. Okay, because that's pretty common. I just think that's that's common for a lot of people. It's definitely common for me. So we talk about manifesting the perfect partner here. Let's say you want a specific type of person because you've learned your ways in the past of who you were dealing with or tolerating, or learned from past relationships and stuff. And what comes forward to you now when it comes down to your perfect partner, right? You want to manifest your perfect person. A lot of the times you'll hear that when it comes down to this idea, you kind of have to be that person, right? If you want your perfect partner to come forward to you, you have to be this person first. Believe it or not, I have a list in my journal of the traits that I want in a partner. The cat's perfect partner thing in my journal. Like, there's just a giant list. Because a lot of the things that I've learned was things that, one, was stopping myself, blocked myself. I blocked my abundance and my learning and my, in just the way that I needed to get to the bottom of how I was feeling, inside work, shadow work, past things in the past relationships have brought me to this list of what it means to have a perfect partner, right? We talk about that. So how are we going to manifest the perfect partner? Well, let's be honest, you kind of have to be that perfect partner for yourself, right? You're going to act towards it. And let's not, away from this kind of relationship manifestation, let's talk about career. When we talk about someone who makes a lot of money, entrepreneur, has their own business, has their own things going on, investing a lot of time, money, and sacrificing a lot of, energy in order to get to a place to be successful, right? We want to manifest more abundance. Money is energy, right? We want more to be successful. And so how do we do that? How do we do that? What are we doing to be that person right now? Okay, so a lot of the manifesting, acting in the present becomes this, pseudo. It's not here, but when you are trying to manifest more money or whatever you seem situation is fit for you in this sense, whether it means like relationship or maybe your job situation, maybe you are where you are, where you want to stay, where you want to grow up in or whatever, you kind of have to place yourself there. That's to act like it, is to be this, is to believe this is happening right now, okay? Because our mind starts changing. Our mind starts changing, our thoughts start changing about ourselves and our perspective. If you had a conversation with yourself from 5 years ago and 5 years from now, this is very important. What would this conversation entail? Okay? So your past person from 5 years ago, you in the present talking to the person you're going to be in the next 5 years. Okay, let's talk about this. What would you say? What would you think? What would you want to tell this past person? What would the future person say to you presently? And vice versa. This is what I'm talking about in step one. You kind of have to talk to yourself. But in this way, it's putting yourself in those shoes of what am I doing right now? Okay? What are you doing for it? How are you going to manifest something like this? Whether that means a long-term goal or a very short-term goal or something small. If it's not here right now, and if you're not talking to yourself like you've already done it. I believe in that. The mind is very powerful. And I know you guys know that. The mind is very powerful. So we start talking to ourselves. We start believing in ourselves. We start putting that out there that 5 years ago, I wouldn't have done this. 5 years later from that point, I'm here right now. But 5 years from now, this is the person I want to be. And I'm going to talk to this person like they're here. Okay? So before we get into the last step, this is something I definitely wanted to bring up in this episode as well. When it comes down to it, there's different factors in life that make it difficult. This is where life tests us. This is where the universe says, you're gonna be put in this situation. You want it? You're gonna go get it, right? Question mark. You're the one who wants to step forward, right? You're doing this work, right? It's a test. There's factors in here. So we talk about, events and detours in your life. We talk about synchronicities. We talk about coincidences and things that happen that are not coincidences. We talk about the people, other people's energies, drama, low vibrations, high vibrations. We talk about the time, the effort it takes in order for this to happen. We talk about emotional influences, trauma, heartbreak, disappointment, as well as happiness, fulfillment, and joy, which are all temporary, right? So we really talk about manifestation as a form. It's just a big entity because there's so many things that one can stall it to return it to the beginning, like you're taking, one step forward and 2 steps back kind of energy. These things either make or break your perception on what can be reality. And let's be honest here. This, when they say success is not a linear line up, it's this. It's a bunch of lines going in 500 different directions and different, like, ups and downs and lefts and rights and circles and loops and loops and loops. Because in our own mind, in our own way, we're not deserving of these things. And believe it or not, that's how it works with the law of attraction, is that when you think that you believe in this for yourself, it will happen over and over and over, unless there is a change, unless there is an elevation. And that's where manifestation and the law of attraction are just sisters. They just understand each other. They just get it. They're just here, together. It makes sense together, And once again, we're here. What are these factors for you guys? This is a conversation we're having right now. You and me, okay? Kat and you. We're talking about this. It's very deep. It can get very emotional. It can get very something that you don't realize within yourself kind of energy. And that's what I want to do here. That's what I want to do, is want to invoke this response from you, where it does ping a sense of change. Okay? A change of adaptability, a change of something in you, to talk to yourself like you haven't done before, okay? Because I've been doing that for months and months and months now, and it is some inside work that I really want to share, information that is meant to be out there, information that is already out there. And if you're not hearing it from other people and other sources on social media, you're going to hear it from me, right? Once you click on this and you're already here, you're going to hear that from me. So, what are your factors? What are your factors that can stop your manifestation? Emotional influences, we talk about that in the perfect relationship and the past relationships. Traumas, triggers, tragedy even, falling out with, detours, events that kind of fall in your life, but you don't know what to do with it, whether or not it's meant to be good for you. In that sense, it will bring you to a place where it is meant for you, okay? You learn a lot from different experiences, and you learn a lot from different people. You don't learn a lot from different cultures, different everything. So you learn a lot from your own past experiences. There's no difference, If you've been through so much in your life and you've come to this place and you're here listening to me and you're trying to figure out this way of what it means to actually manifest the things that you want and desire, I think that you have a notion that a lot of the things in your life have happened out of nowhere, through coincidences, sparks of inspiration, through tragedy, through turmoil, through difficulty, through poverty, to bring in prosperity, to bring in abundance. It's weird how that works, because the synchronicities and coincidences in life, whether or not you care about that notion of events, of these synchronicities in your life meant to bring you to these places, detours. Let's say you had an amazing job a couple of years ago, and you had everything you could ever ask for in that job. Great pay, great schedule, great people you're around, and something happens. Snap, it's gone. Snap, it's gone. What do you do? That's a detour, right? What do? You either just sulk in that forever, or you use that energy to go into something where you didn't think you could. That detour was meant to bring you to another place where you're also appreciated, where it is actually so much more fulfilling, right? We talk about synchronicities. And how these small things, whether or not they're small or big to you, but these small things come forward and you're like, wow, I did not believe that could happen whatsoever. And here's my personal story, okay? Here's my personal story. I'm gonna keep it short because I can get emotional when I tell this story. going through a lot of pain, going through a lot of tragedy, going through a lot of heartbreak, going through a lot of vulnerability with myself, realizations, all of these things, going through losing my mom in August, my mom passing away, ending a relationship in July, a month before, and all of that happening in the same time. My life flipped. You know, I'm not saying this is a synchronicity. This is life happening. Death happens as much as life happens. This is the things and events in my life that have happened that has made me kind of realize how powerful my mind is. But moving on, all these moments and all these days, all these feelings, all these dark energies, thoughts, and the way that I thought I couldn't get out of it, grieving, okay? Grieving every day, and still something I deal with to this day. It's people showing their true colors, people coming forward in a way that I didn't expect, assumptions made, just negative energy, confusion, non-clarity. Just months of this happening. Me thinking I deserved this, me thinking that nothing could get me out of this because I was still dealing with things emotionally, right? Emotional pain, emotional influences, just the trauma of it all, just the tears every single day. I'm saying it was very difficult, okay? Still sometimes is, but coming forward to, fast forward a little bit, things happen, you know, I'm not talking to a few people, just kind of really confused in my life. Out of nowhere, get a job interview at a place that I didn't think I was going to get an interview for because it's been months since I've applied, right? Out of nowhere, get this job interview, get the job, ace the interview, it's great, we start moving forward. Amazing people come through, and just the synchronicity of that all rolling into one as a big avalanche of realization of like, oh my God, wait a minute, like this, the healing that I had done in this process, trying to get out of it, trying to remove myself from specific energies, the healing that had started had brought me to a place I didn't expect, because it was almost like a reward. And I say this story all the time to my friends now, and it's almost like, you know, my mom in a sense pulling the strings of how I am going to be brought to this place. Everyone's story is different. You can have a guardian angel, you could believe in those things, you could not, it doesn't matter. For me, in that way, I believed in that because it just so, it is not a coincidence. It was just so needed at the right time. It was just the absolute perfect opportunity to say and do these things, because it was going to be new and it was going to be different. And when you start doing things differently, different things happen, right? So my mom pulling the strings in this situation, pulling me and putting me in this situation, and this is where I'm going to work now. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to be able to see my own manifestations, okay? And here's another crazy thing. In December of last year, 2020, I had recorded something probably in the last week of December of that sort, talking to myself, you know? I don't know if it's still on my phone, but this is the story of how I wanted to manifest something better. This is the story of the recording of like where I wanted to just remove myself from this energy. It's just a giant loop of negativity, right? I was recording this on my phone, just talking to myself at night. I'm not sure how I was feeling, to be honest, in that way where it brought me to just put out my phone and record for 20 minutes to just talk about how I need this to change. Months later, like I said, then this happened. The healing happened. You know, people showing their true colors. You kind of remove yourself from these energies. You start to realize, like, damn, well, hold on. I don't realize these, or I don't deserve these things. That's the word. I don't deserve these things, you know, and it just, that's my story. Then I'm around amazing people. Then I'm around different energies and understanding energies, and I'm very selective now, but I'm very putting forward this momentum, because it does not stop. It has not stopped for me. And this is, now we're in June. This happened in February and March, and now we're here, and now I'm here telling you that my story and how to manifest and what manifestation is works. Point blank, it works. It works, and you have to believe in that. And this is definitely a very important step in how to manifest, is because if you don't believe in yourself in this way, it doesn't work for you. And they say believing is half the battle. It definitely is. That's the truth. And when it comes down to your successes in your life and what you want to be fulfilled in, purpose, higher regards, abundance, money, financial, perfect relationship, all these things that you want and can bring to life, all of that is believing that it's possible for yourself. And all of that is putting that together for you in your mind, being realistic about it as well, because it's real. Anything is achievable. And let's be honest, you've seen so many crazy stories around the world of people doing amazing things, and by chance they're brought to places they didn't think they could be, and by chance they are able to succeed in front of so many people, in front of everyone, and just, it's because they manifested that. It's because they knew they deserved it. Okay, so anyways, guys, moving on. Yeah, think about your factors here, ladies and gentlemen. Think about the things that influence the way that this flow works. If it blocks it, why is it there? Emotional influences. If you want a perfect relationship, what didn't work in the past? Like I said, talk to yourself from 5 years ago. Talk to yourself from 5 years from now, and where you're going to be and what you want to be. Okay, and then be that right now. Let's talk about step 3, guys. How to. Step 3 in this, how to, beginner's guide to manifestation by yours truly, Kat. Step 3 is seizing the opportunity. Seizing the opportunity. Whether or not it makes sense to you at the moment, whether or not you want to, if you feel uncomfortable, something is going to push you, because that's meant to. Seizing the opportunity. It's here. Are you going to claim it? Is a question you will get asked from a divine spirit, divine energy, in a sense. And that could be what you believe in, right? But you will be tested whether or not this is for you, and you'll know. Intuition is so powerful. Your mind, your thoughts, your intuitions, very powerful in this state. Okay? So when you talk about manifesting, the first step is believing, the second step is to act like it, and the third step is to definitely seize the opportunity when it's here. It's here right now. What are you going to do about it? Okay? If it's here right now to you, are you going to take that risk? And when we talk about risk, we talk about how it's calculated, okay? I'm one of those types of people. I don't go into something head first. I always have to think about it. I always have to analyze it. I always see if it makes me feel good, if it's fulfilling, if it's something that, doesn't endanger me in any sense. I think about it. I think about it. Then I also have the energy where it's just like, what's the worst that can happen? So this balance in my intuition says, go for it, then you'll know. So that's everyone's own way, right? It's different for everybody, and I will say that over and over and over again, because it's true. It's very much yang energy. We talk about yin, we talk about yang. When yang is in the picture, this is manifestation. This is you going for it. This is you moving forward. This is the flame, okay? This is the opportunity of a lifetime, whether or not you believe in it, to change your life, okay? This is you seizing it. This is you believing it, and it's claiming it, okay? So basically, let's put it this way. Okay, this is a very long podcast of me talking about these things and coaching you. I don't know if you guys been listening to it up to this point, but thank you so much if you have. Thank you. Love you guys. So, appreciate you guys. Let me know. Let me know your story down in the comments below if you're still here watching and listening. Like, let me know what's going on, and how you want to change your life for the better. So in conclusion here, we're talking about manifestation. It's definitely simpler than how people want to put it together. I don't even know if this is something that's simple, but 3 steps, Okay, step one, believing in yourself, waking up and checking in with yourself, asking yourself these questions of like, what kind of reality are you living in? How can you make it better? How are you improving yourselves? What kind of, why is it difficult for you? What do you need to change? Okay, that's step one, the check-in. Step two is to act like it. Okay, once you check in with yourself from 5 years ago into the 5 years from now version of yourself, how are you going to be in the present? And what are we going to do in order to make these things easier to come forward to us, right? And in connection to the law of attraction. We raise our vibration, we raise our paradigm, our reality changes with it, right? Step three, when it's here, when it's right in front of you, when you know it feels different, when you know your life is changing, it is changing, and it's gradual, are you going to seize this opportunity? Are you going to take it? Are you going to run with it and do exactly what you want to do with it because it's yours now? Are you going to claim it? You know, seize it, take it. And what's crazy about this, guys, is that manifestation is not just one big thing. It is a line. It is a pattern of it happening again and again and again. Small things, big things, monumental, life-altering, all of what manifestation is all these little synchronicities in life that bring you to new places, new versions of yourself, things that you've never learned before from other people, influences and external like jobs or places, cultures, whoever. But all of this together is manifesting you for exactly who you're meant to be and who you deserve to be. And all of these things will happen over and over and over again. So it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because you think you don't deserve it. You know what I mean? It keeps going until you learn that lesson. And when you get to that place, eventually at the top of the mountain, you look down, you look over everything, and it's just clear that you're meant to be this person. And that's what's crazy about it, is that will happen again. You have to go back down the mountain in order to go back to another one and go back to another peak. You know what I mean? So it is repeating. It will always happen, guys. When you want something, you can go get it. Okay? That's as simple as that. When you want something, you think you deserve it, you're going to work towards it, work hard. Time, effort is always going to be a factor. Detours sometimes, other people's energies is always going to be a factor. And that's another thing when it comes down to it. In this timeline, not everything is going to happen the way you think it will. But when you believe that it will, you're going to claim that at the end. You're going to see it happen for you in real life, in real time. Okay? Okay. In conclusion, once again, manifesting is your mental fortitude. Repeat after me. Manifesting is your mental fortitude. Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Where are you coming from 5 years ago? How are you going to step forward into your new life knowing you deserve exactly what you desire? Okay? Manifesting is your mental fortitude. You gotta build your mind up, guys. You gotta build, you gotta elevate, you gotta do this continuously because it does not stop. Life does not stop. You don't stop. Okay? The only reason you stop is because you're able to just learn and lean into yourself. But you gotta trust yourself, and you gotta trust this process as well. Because like I said, things don't happen overnight. Sometimes you do have to wait. Sometimes you have to work really hard and just put your nose to the ground and go. One day when you look up, you get to the top of the mountain, where are you going to be when you're working this hard? You know? So, honestly, that was really fulfilling for me, for you guys to just listen to me in that way. It's like 11:30 at night right now. I just got home from work a couple hours ago. I didn't think I'd be saying these things to you, putting this together. Like I had an idea of what this podcast was going to be. And it's amazing how this just came out. Okay. This is me putting it forward, pushing it forward. I love hearing your guys' stories. If you guys know me personally, like I said, like it's always welcome, and I really appreciate it. I really love listening to every single person who has something to say in regards to their stories and their lives. That to me is fulfilling. Okay, guys, so I will record something else for the month of June and release that as well. Definitely announce it, but thank you so much for listening to this episode about manifestation and law of attraction and all these good things, all these juicy things, and how we think in energy and life and spirituality. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Cat Attacks Live. All the links are going to be in the description box below. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook. I'm on Instagram, but it's my tarot channel Instagram. It's at Cat of Wands. By the way, if you're interested in a personal reading from me, let me know, because I'm going to be doing those soon. I also have my tarot channel here on YouTube. It is at Cat of Wands Tarot. So check that out if you're really interested, and if you want a reading from me, I do that too, okay? So, yes. Thank you again for listening to this episode. Let me know what you think about it. Hit all those links, all that good stuff. We'll be coming back with something new soon, and definitely announce it for all you guys that are listening. This has been Cat Attacks Life, the beginner's guide to manifestation. Have a great evening, day, whenever you're listening or watching this. I will see you next time. Peace.